I had just graduated from Bible College, Christ for the Nations in Dallas. I was in a relationship I shouldn't have been in. 6 months later, found out I was pregnant at 19, and the dad had no interest. I moved into the basement of my parents' home and began a journey raising my son alone. Didn't really have a roadmap. How do you train a child and how do you do it alone? I was working 2 jobs, trying to go to school at night, so not necessarily how I pictured life. My high school sweetheart, who we had dated on and off through high school, came back into my life. I think we could instantly tell that there was still this connection, and so we began this friendship together, exploring what dating looked like now, having a young son involved. I ended up getting married in Florida on the beach, just surrounded by a close family and friends, just probably about 70 people. It was beautiful, and life began. We added 2 more boys and then a girl. I was thankful, I was so blessed, and I felt like we had just really hit a great place. Every year we had gone to travel to California. His brother was living there at the time. And we'd just get away for 2 weeks. We'd unplug, go hike up in the mountains and just reboot, just refresh ourselves before the beginning of the new year would start. And I remember on this particular hike, Matt was a little winded. His color was a little off. And I remember looking at him kind of in a competitive way, thinking, I'm kicking his butt today. And we got back from the hike, and I could still tell he just wasn't himself. And I had just suggested, hey, why don't you get a physical when we get home? Just make sure everything's okay. And January of 2017, he had his physical. And the nurse came up and rubbed my shoulder and said, I'm so sorry. Your husband has cancer. We had gone home and consulted a second opinion. So they said he was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. So not the news we wanted to hear. Our lives all of a sudden became inundated with doctor's appointments, physicals, blood work, and a scheduled surgery 10 days later, massive surgery. So far to date, Matt has gone through 33 rounds of chemo. He started out kind of as a big, beefy football player, and now, has probably lost, I would say, close to 60 pounds. Neuropathy is one of the things that we're seeing as one of the major side effects. So just something I'm new with, but just your loss of feeling in your hands and feet. Early on when he started in January, fatigue was just a big part of it. He slept a lot, had little or no appetite. As Matt was in the hospital and I was at home, I felt alone. I felt like, God, how do you think I'm gonna do this? And he drew me back to thinking I was alone as a single mom. And he said, I was there for you then, and I'll be there for you again. And I remember that night just sitting on the couch, just crying out to the Lord. I remember feeling just this blanket of peace. God saying, I'll strengthen you. Lean into me, and I will strengthen you in this journey. We had started at River Valley at the Minnetrista campus in the middle of Matt's journey of going through chemotherapy, so we were at a weary place. I got involved probably real quickly on. I knew I needed support. I knew I needed other women to help. And sisterhood for me became such a beautiful thing. The first year I just started out just attending. I just came, and just week after week, these women around my table poured into me, prayed for us, prayed for Matt. I will say, in the midst of this battle of the last 3 years we're going on, there probably haven't been a lot of meals I've made. Our church and our community has just rallied around us, not just once, not just twice, repeatedly, week after week. There's been presents, there's been gifts for our kids, and just a real genuine love. No strings attached, just truly authentic people loving and caring for us and locking arms with us to walk this journey out with us. So the journey today with Matt and I, obviously I realize our story's not over. We still have a journey ahead. Our goal and our hope is truly just for Matt to be off chemo altogether and just to be completely cancer-free and giving God the glory at every chance we can. We know God is good no matter what. We know that we win no matter what.